Hey, I'm Bob Murray. This isn't the fish I'm trying to catch. I'm just trying to catch this fish so I can catch another fish. Stay tuned, we're going catfishing. It's going to be a good one. All right, we got bait. You know, we do a lot of bass fishing on the show and stuff like that, but, you know, getting back to the basics of doing some catfishing and carp fishing. I'm here with Angus McCauley, and we're going to go carp fishing, catfishing. Where are we exactly doing, Angus?
We're at a feeder creek of Spruce Run Reservoir, so we're right where the creek meets the reservoir. The reason for that, we're fishing late summer, and the cool water of the creek and the deep channel of the creek is just great habitat for all kinds of game fish, and this particular stretch is really loaded with catfish, and we'll probably catch some carp as well.
And you know, one of the things that we talked about is just basic fishing 101. You got some tricks that you're gonna show us in a little bit to get the bait out there and stuff like that. But you know, you really could do this, what, 15 minutes from anybody's house? Yeah,
I'd say, you know, anywhere in, you know, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, you'd have. You could probably find a number of waters within a half-hour's drive. I mean, the techniques that I'm using here are stuff that I worked out fishing on the Delaware mostly. And then after fishing bass here and finding a good cat fishery, I started using them here, and they work just the same.
And the equipment that we're using, it's not real fancy.
Not at all. It's basically hooks and sinkers.
That's it. The only thing that you did mention was we're using circle hooks.
Yes.
With that wider gap, and I think that'll really improve the.
Yeah, that's one thing that just a few years ago I switched over to the circle hooks for catfishing, and I've had very few gut hooked fish. In fact, last week was the first gut hooked fish I got on a circle hook. I didn't think it was possible before last week.
Well, let's get our baits going here. Now, what are we going to do first, Angus, to set everything up?
First, we're gonna mix up some what the European carpers refer to as ground bait. It's like a chum material. It's a dry mix of crumb and grains and fish meal. This particular mix is one that I make. I just call it cat scratch because I make it specifically for the catfish. It's got a lot of
got a little corn.
Yeah, a little bit of corn and a lot of fish meal in it that the catfish find very attractive. And that's not going to be our bait. It's just going to be used as an attractant to get the catfish feeding in the vicinity of our baits.
If we were on salt water, it'd be a chum slick, and we're on fresh water, we're just going to throw it out there and and get them to come in.
Exactly.
Now, what's the bag for? What are we going to do with that?
This is just a little mixing bowl. So we'll put the dry mix in here, pour a little bit of the water from, we'll probably take water from our bait bucket, splash it in there, and just adding enough water to make a damp mix that holds together like a snowball if you squeeze it.
But it's not really going to be like a dough ball.
No, it's actually probably like a snowball is probably a pretty good analogy, because it'll break up when it hits the water.
Okay, well let's do that.
Okay.
Well, you can smell it.
Yeah. That's when just dump the whole thing in there. I've got a little extra if we.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one thing. The mixes for carp are generally really sweet and they smell like dessert, but. The catfish mixes are a little stinky.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, I can tell you that.
You can see you start with a completely dry mix, so it stores nicely. You know, it's not going to go moldy on you or anything like that. And so you can make up a big batch of it and, you know, store it for years in a sealed canister. And then when you bring it to the fishing site, using the water from the fishing site, you know, not using tap water from home. You don't pre-mix it, so it smells, you know, very natural to them. You just add a little bit of water. You're just dampening the mix. In fact, yeah, that's probably about right. And mix it by hand. Sometimes if I'm feeling like I want to stay clean, I just do it in a Ziploc bag and squeeze it that way. But we're gonna have our hands in this, so that's pretty close. And this is always the first step in the catfishing, because the more saturated the grain becomes with the juice from the fish meal, the more effective this chum is. So this is always going to be your first step. Dry stuff on top. Okay, Bob, I think it's about right. See how it just kind of clumps together with a light squeeze? And we're going to make little golf ball sized balls and toss them into our fishing area.
Now, do you spread them out, or do you try to concentrate all of them in like basically one area?
Being just two fishermen, we're going to concentrate them all in one area. You could spread them out if there's more people kind of making a bigger swim for the fish, but we're going to try to draw them all into the same spot. And you can see it's crumbly, so when it hits the water, it'll start breaking up and spread out across the bottom. And this will draw in the catfish.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It molds up pretty good. Yeah. All right.
Let's toss a couple out.
Now, where do you want to throw them at?
I think we're going to want to throw them like just up from that big root.
Okay, good. You throw it, and I'll follow you. About there?
Right about there. And anywhere close is good because the currents all swirl around in here. You're just trying to get the fish in the ballpark.
So now you're chunking the bait up. Now, what are we going to do exactly with these, Angus?
Okay, some of this we're going to use as chum. We'll like the tail section here. We'll cut it into small pieces, mix it in with our cat scratch here, and toss it in as chum to draw fish into the area for feeding. We'll keep larger pieces like this as a hook bait. What we're trying to do is draw the fish in and give them little snacks, and then that they find a big piece like this. That's the part they're making as a meal. So the free ones that they get with the chum aren't going to fill them up. They're just going to act as an appetizer.
Yeah. Angus, now we've chummed the area pretty much. Now we got to get our baits in water. What exactly are we going to do now?
Exactly. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to bait up this circle hook with a chunk of fresh cut sunfish. And the way we do that is just pass it through the bait one time, from the inside to the outside. Make sure that there's no scale sticking on the point of the hook, and that's it. That exposed hook will assure a good hookup. The catfish are not hook shy at all. They're used to eating things with spines and claws and things. And we use a small weight. This is about a 3/16 ounce weight. It'll be on the swivel will act as a stopper, so it'll be a little slip rig. You can give them a little bit of line when they're being fussy.
So when they'll pick it up, they won't feel the weight of the lead on it then.
Exactly.
And then we're just gonna set it down and wait.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we'll hook up before the rod gets set down. Just cast right into the same zone that we were throwing the ground bait.
Now, do you have the drag set really light on these, Angus, or
it's fairly light. We're only fishing 10-pound line there, so it's these fish will definitely take line on you.
Angus, this is not the corn that I had for dinner last night. What's the story with this stuff?
This is a European product, an Italian product called Pesca Viva, and it's corn specifically marketed towards fishermen. It's a little larger grained and a little tougher than sweet corn you'd buy from the store, and it's loaded with flavor and fish attractants. Like this particular one it's giant prawn flavored, so it's sort of a fishy smelling corn, and it's a very good catfish bait, and the carp like it as well.
And you're going to use it on a little lighter rod, is that the case?
Exactly. We're going to put it on a little number 6 octopus hook. throw a little pile of it out into our fishing area and follow it with the hook bait.
Okay, cool.
Got one knocking.
Tap, tap, tap.
Just a little tap. It could have been a liner, could have been just a fish bumping into the line.
What we got there? What do we got?
We're hooked up. He took the Pesca Viva, so this could be a carp or this could be a catfish, Bob. I am not guessing yet. Took off like a carp, but it was just rolling like a catfish. So
when you get that turn.
this could be either or. Still not sure.
You know, it's a lot of fun with those, with that light rod there, boy.
Yeah, it's always the way the biggest fish picks up the lightest rod. That's
as always.
Hopefully we can. Is he under? Oh, he's over that one. Okay.
You all right?
Over you? Oh, good.
Yeah.
He cooperated.
Yeah, he didn't pull the line. You know what? I'll bring this in.
Oop. I'm still not certain. Oh, it pulled. Shoot.
That was a nice fish.
That was a nice fish. I'm not sure. If I had to guess, I'd say it was a carp because I think they get off the hook more often than the catfish do.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's, well, one, we're using a smaller hook with that Pesca Viva, the corn bait. And two, they have that soft mouth. You know, with the catfish and the larger hook, you get kind of you get a purchase around that big jawbone, and they stay hooked until you pull it out with pliers. All right, let's do that again. Got a little bump on this rod. Could just be a perch or something pecking at it. Sometimes the channel cats will come up and they'll just kind of brush it or mouth it before they take it. Sometimes that little tap tap is the precursor to a rod doubling over.
Yeah.
Something alive. Should mention, Bob, with the circle hook, when you get a pickup, you're fight back the instinct to set the hook.
You know, that's the hardest thing going. Is
just when it takes,
you just gotta start reeling.
Just start reeling.
Yeah. I'll get out of the way here because I think it's going to go my way. Again, it's on that corn again?
Yeah, this I'm almost certain is a carp. He did that, that long straight run. He didn't do that roll like the last fish did. Because the catfish roll on the line a lot.
Yeah.
And could you see what that was? I didn't have my glasses on. He's coming up in the shallow water here. He's going to make a mess if he goes up there. Yeah, it's a carp, I believe.
Nicing. They seem to like that corn.
Yeah, that Pesca Viva, if you don't like catching carp, it's not the best catfish bait. If you don't mind the carp interrupting you once in a while, it's a good bait for either or. They make some really sweet flavors too that the carp just go nuts for, but even the fishier ones like this prawn flavored, these under my line or over? He's under it. Ah, you bugger.
Where's he at?
Here we go. He's in it, so if you just kind of I wish when they got to this point you could
They would just come in.
Yeah. Something's funny here. I gotta land this fish. Something's tangled somewhere and I don't know where. It's like my drag's not working. I don't know what it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what it was. I had a little piece of tape on my spool, and it balled up, and every time it went around, it was hitting on the rotor. Almost broke them off. All right. One more. The catfish are another nice thing about the catfish. You can use a lip tool like a boga grip.
Yeah, the carp you just got.
Just grab them. Whereas the carp, they have a delicate mouth, so do it. You can't. There's nothing to hold on to.
I'll get the rod out for you.
I'm gonna pop that out of his lip, and then really, you kind of just gotta. Whoop,
Random up here.
Try not to mud him here. Sorry, buddy. I'm gonna rinse him off here. Just lift him up for the camera. That's a typical spruce run carp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in that 7-ish pounds range,
yeah.
maybe 8 pounds.
Mm-hmm. How big did they get in here? Have you caught them up?
I've
in
caught them,
like the 15, 20s?
I've caught them, you know, into the teens, 15, 16 pounds. I've yet to get a 20-pounder in here. I've seen a couple that I think are pushing that mark, but haven't landed one in that range yet. And almost all, you know, usual the fully scaled common carp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've got one mirror carp here ever.
Oh, really? Send that boy back. Tell him
let's
bring his buddies back.
And now for a closer look at today's tackle, Delaware Valley Outdoors presents the Tackle Box. For more information about the tackle used on today's show, go to DelawareValleyOutdoors.com.
Angus, we're here at the tackle box section, and you know, we all started out as kids fishing catfish, carp. I mean, I think that's where you get your, you know, you get ready for fishing.
Right.
But you've taken to another step here with all the increments, and it's still basic, but it's kind of a cool setup. The bait that we were using today, it's a mixture that you've brought out. Tell us about the mixture that you have.
Yeah, this stuff I call it cat scratch. It's a dry chum material. So it's the base of it is a breadcrumb, and then we've added fish meal and some cracked corn and other grains to give it a little more meaty consistency that draws the catfish in. It's a style of chumming that comes from the European carp fishermen.
Right, and I've done carp shows where these guys will swear by this stuff as far as the chumming aspect of it, because it doesn't feed the carp, it just attracts them to, and the catfish, to where your bait is going to be.
Exactly.
Right. And again, you have this really cool little mixing bowl. Again, just talk about the consistency. How do you want it? How, you know, what do you want that bait to look like?
You want it to be just a damp, sort of like damp oatmeal is kind of the consistency you're looking for. Just wet enough so that when you squeeze it, you can make a snowball with it. You don't want it like wet mud. You want it still crumbly so that when you toss it in the water, it hits the water and it breaks up and scatters just a little bit.
And I tell you what, we've done this, And it really does. I mean, you can smell. I mean, once that water gets on this stuff, it really is very, potent, and you can smell it through there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then we'll do some chumming, and then we'll still stick it on and just throw it out there and do it that way.
Right.
Now, this bait here, you know what? You made me a believer in this stuff. Talk about this stuff. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, the Pesca Viva it's really a fantastic prepared bait. Historically, I haven't been big on prepared baits. I've always preferred natural baits, but this Pesca Viva, it's a corn-based product. It's a sweet corn, but it's not like a for human consumption sweet corn. It's a hard grain, and it's a large kernel. And then they've added these really potent flavors and colors to it. And the one that I find that works great for the catfish is this giant prawn flavor, and it just smells like shrimp.
It's rather odoriferous, I can tell you that much.
Right.
But, again, one of the things that you really had brought out was the toughness of the kernels, because that'll make it stay on the hook.
Right, it'll stay on for making the stress put on the hook from making a long cast, and also little fish picking at it. You know, if you have sunfish and stuff that will come by and they'll peck at it, it'll still stay on the hook and be there when the big fish takes it.
And they have a variety of flavors that they come out with?
Yes, yeah, the majority of them are more sweet flavored, focusing on the carp fishing market. But this giant prawn flavor, and there's another flavor, it's very fishy smelling, called trout pellet.
Oh, you go, eh?
Yeah, and they're excellent for catfish and obviously for trout as well. It's sort of like a salmon egg substitute.
But I tell you, that's the whole thing. I mean, you used to take the Jolly Green Giant or whatever kind of corn, but that would never stay on the hook. But this stuff really does stay on, and like the smell is just. I mean, you're talking about fish who feed by odor. This is the ticket.
That's
here.
right. That scent trail just leads them to the bait.
All right, now we've done the corn, we've done the meal. We got to get back to the basics here.
Right.
And what we have here are just old-fashioned night crawler.
Yep, there are certain instances where night crawlers are tough to beat. The only time I steer away from night crawlers when I'm catfishing is if there's a lot of panfish in the area, because perch and sunfish just pick away at them.
Just tear them up.
But they are, there's no doubt they're an attractive catfish bait.
Now, when you're catfishing, obviously a lot of times there's carp in the area too, stuff like that.
Yes.
Now, how many rods do you put out? You put one with this, and you use the worms, and then you cut up some sunfish. Or
yeah, generally a local bait fish, either sunfish, or if you get creek chubs or suckers, any of those are fine. Or if you have to buy from a bait shop, just get shiners, and you can fish them either live or cut them in half and put both halves on the hook.
And that's a good bait. I know that a lot of times live bait is the best thing.
Yes.
Okay, one of the things that we walked back into the spot where we are, and a lot of times you have to walk down a bank, blah blah blah. You brought this little ticket here. Tell me about it. It's a nice setup. What is it?
Yeah, it's a combination backpack fishing stool. I stumbled across it just a little while ago, and it's really made my life easier. I bring more equipment with me, and I bring it in more comfortably.
So you can put your rod in here. You got your rod holders there. You put all your bait and stuff in here. Throw it on your back, and you still have your hands to use, so you don't have to be holding things.
Exactly. If you're to work your way in through the brush, you can have the bulk of your tackle on your back.
One of the things too that I like with these little packs that you put in there for all your split shot and your hooks and stuff like that, sticks right in there, and you got enough to fish the whole day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, this is a cool thing, especially for catfish. Tell us about the Boga Grip.
Yeah, the Boga Grip, that's sort of the original lip gripping tool for landing fish and handling fish. There's a number of other brands on the market now, but I still like the old Boga. It's a lipping tool for handling a fish, and it's also a scale.
Right, so you can get there and just hold them and do what you have to do.
Right.
And get it out.
Low stress on the fish and
safe on your hands. Oh well, that's the tackle box. Keep him out of the trees, Angus.
I don't know, he's in them.
Is he?
Yeah, he's way back in
Yeah.
Shoot.
Can you get him out?
I don't know. We'll find out. It'd be nice if he does come out.
Come on, get him out of that tree.
That's not a small fish. Tighten up a little. I think he's out. He's out. Yeah. Holy moly.
Keep him
right
coming.
up against that bank.
Keep his head up.
He is right up against that bank, Bob.
You want to move those rods?
No.
Yeah.
He's staying below him, so.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah,
He's still against, okay. Okay.
There we
now
go.
We're safe. As long as he didn't mess up the line in that tree he was in.
He's a good one.
Yeah. He's either big or really feisty.
Well, you know, my theory is they're always big until they get here. Then there's a lot of weight once I get them in.
Right?
It's unbelievable.
Exactly.
They go on Weight Watchers. That's
Bob,
a cat.
if I could ask a favor of you, in my green bag, the main pouch, there is a boga grip.
Okay.
It's on a leash, but it's got a quick release. Just in the middle of the leash, just quick release it. Oh, I wish he'd just come in. The longer they stay out there, the less confident I get.
He's moving. That's it. That's it. Ooh. Show yourself there, son. Come on.
There he, ah, it's a carp. Unbelievable. Not what I was looking for. He even fought like a catfish. So
Yeah, you know what?
He rolled around.
Yeah,
and
yeah. It didn't. No, we don't need the
guess he
boga.
yeah, we're not going to use the boga. I guess he figured if he's going to eat catfish bait, he would.
He's gonna fight like a catfish.
Yeah. All right, buddy. All right, bud.
Here.
Thank you. There we go. Another nice chunky one, right?
Step up
See
here just a
that?
little bit so we can get over. Come here, fishy.
You can see that circle hook. Just hooks him right in the lip.
Right out front there.
Yep.
That's pretty.
Easy to get out.
Look at that.
No harm.
Hey, I'm Bob Murray. Angus, thanks a lot. We caught catfish, carp. That was a lot of fun. Hey, if you get a chance, go out and do some summertime fishing like this. We take your kids with you. You know, you take your son a lot.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing. Not a lot of equipment, not a lot of fuss. Get a little dirty, but that's what fishing's all about. Hey, I'm Bob Murray. I'll see you on the water.